I used to be the center of my dad's world. Before she came, before she moved into our house with her perfect hair, perfect smile, and perfect daughter. Before everything that was mine became hers. My name is Lena Carson, and for the first 14 years of my life, it was just me and Dad. We weren't rich, but we were close. Late-night board games, pancake Sundays, laughter echoing through every room of our small but cozy home. He used to say, "It's you and me, kid. Always has been, always will be." And I believed him, until he met Angela. Angela was elegant, sophisticated, the type who always smelled like expensive perfume and never had a hair out of place. She was everything my mom, who passed when I was 6, wasn't, and at first I wanted to like her. I really did. Dad deserved to be happy, but it didn't take long to realize she didn't come alone. She brought her daughter, Claire. Claire was a year younger than me, but you'd never know it. She was tall, poised, and knew how to make adults fawn over her with a single smile. Everyone loved Claire, especially my dad. At first, I thought it was just him trying to be a good stepdad, taking her to school, buying her little gifts, laughing at her dumb jokes. I kept telling myself, he's just trying to make her feel at home. It's temporary. But then it started getting weird. My room, the one I'd painted sky blue with Dad, was suddenly too childish. Angela suggested we redecorate. Somehow Claire ended up picking the color, a soft lilac. My posters were taken down, my shelves replaced with Claire's trophies and dance photos. When I asked about it, Angela said, "You girls should learn to share. It's our house now." But that was just the beginning. I came home from school one day to find my favorite stuffed animal, the one my mom gave me before she died, gone. Tossed in a donation box. Claire had told Angela it was gross and childish. Dad just said, "You're growing up anyway, Lena." The following month, Claire started calling him Dad, and he let her. He smiled when she said it, hugged her like she was his own. Meanwhile, I was becoming invisible. Family photos in the hallway slowly changed. My pictures started disappearing, one by one, replaced with ones of Claire and Angela, until the only one left was a faded photo of me and Dad on the fridge. And even that was crooked, half covered by one of Claire's straight-A report cards. Then came the birthday, my 16th. Dad forgot. No cake, no gift, not even a text. When I came downstairs, Angela was decorating the living room for Claire. Her birthday was the next day. Dad looked up from his laptop and said, "Oh, right. We'll do something for you this weekend, okay?" We never did. The final straw came 3 weeks later. I was called to the principal's office. Angela was there, her lips tight, her eyes cold. She handed me a folded paper, a transfer notice. "We've decided it's better if you finish the year at your aunt's place. She has more structure." My voice cracked. "What are you talking about? This is my home." Angela didn't blink. "Not anymore." I looked at Dad, who had come in late and stood silently behind her. He didn't meet my eyes, didn't say a word. That night, I packed my bags with shaking hands. Claire watched from the stairs, smirking, like she'd finally won. I didn't say goodbye, neither did Dad, but I took one thing before I left. That crooked photo from the fridge, the last proof that once I mattered here. My aunt's house was small, dusty, and smelled faintly of peppermint and old books. But it was the first place in months where I could finally breathe. Aunt Caroline wasn't warm in the traditional sense. No hugs, no heart-to-hearts. but she was steady, honest. And when she opened her door, saw my suitcase, and raised an eyebrow, all she said was, "Took them long enough." I didn't ask what she meant, not then. I started school the next week, new faces, new classrooms, new lunch table. Alone. I didn't mind. At least here I wasn't watching someone else live my life. But the ache didn't go away. Not when I saw dads picking their daughters up after practice. Not when I got the automated birthday reminder from the school's admin system, and no message from my own father. Not even a "hope you're doing okay." Then one rainy Saturday, Aunt Caroline walked into the living room with a box. She set it down in front of me. Old photos, letters, keepsakes, stuff from when my mom was alive. "I figured you'd want these," she said, walking out before I could even thank her. I spent the next hour going through every piece like it was sacred. Birthday cards, handwritten notes from Mom, a dried rose from the hospital bouquet the day I was born, and at the very bottom, a photo I didn't recognize. 2 girls. One was definitely me, maybe 8 years old. But the other, Claire? Number that wasn't possible. I flipped it over, scrawled on the back in my mom's handwriting. Lena and Clarissa, 2nd grade field trip, zoo. Clarissa. Claire? My heart dropped. I rushed to Aunt Caroline. "Who is Clarissa?" She barely looked up from her crossword. "You don't remember? She and her mom lived down the street. Angela, the one who always tried to get in good with your dad." I froze. "Wait, Angela? As in, my stepmom Angela?" She blinked, then her expression shifted. Sharp, regretful. "Oh, you didn't know." She sat down beside me and sighed. "Angela was always around, even when your mom was still alive. Said she was just helping, being neighborly. But your mom didn't trust her. She thought Angela had intentions. And Clarissa? That girl was obsessed with your life. Would cry when her mom picked her up from your house, said she wanted your room, your clothes, even your name." I sat in stunned silence. Angela hadn't just married my dad, she'd been plotting to replace my mom and me for years. And Claire, or Clarissa, had been playing along all this time. That night I stared at the photo again. Something about the way Clarissa looked at the camera, slightly behind me, reaching for me, made my skin crawl. I knew then. This wasn't just a story of a stepmom who didn't love her stepdaughter. This was a long game. A quiet, calculated erasure. And I had been the target all along. I started searching through public records, Claire's school registrations, previous addresses. And it didn't take long to find something odd. For 3 years before Angela married my dad, Claire's school records listed my last name. Carson, filed under Clarissa Carson. My breath caught. She'd been using my name, pretending to be me. Why? The next day I dug deeper. And that's when I found it. A letter from the private school my dad sent Claire to after they got married. It was addressed to Mr. Carson and congratulated him on securing Clarissa Carson's legacy admission status as the biological child of Daniel Carson. My heart slammed against my chest. What? My father had submitted an application enlisting Claire, not me, as his biological daughter. Was that a mistake? Or had Angela lied? Or worse, had Dad known? I printed out the letter, stared at it for hours. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, but then I knew what I had to do. If Claire had taken my identity on paper, then maybe the truth was hidden in the original records. Birth certificates, hospital logs, DNA. It was time to find out how deep this lie really went, and I wasn't going to stop until I uncovered every single piece of it. I never thought I'd be the girl to buy a DNA test online. But after everything I'd uncovered, the name swapping, the letters, the way Angela had manipulated everyone, I needed concrete proof, not just for me, for anyone who ever doubted what she was capable of. I sent it in under a fake name, just in case. While I waited, I requested my birth certificate from the hospital archives. When it arrived, my hands trembled as I opened it. It listed name, Lena Grace Carson, father Daniel Carson. Mother Emily Carson, everything was as it should be. Until I noticed the notation at the bottom. Correction issued. Maternal name revised from Angela Morris to Emily Carson. Authorized by court order. What? Angela's name had once been listed as my mother? Why? And more importantly, how? I called the hospital, asked for more records. After some back and forth, a very kind clerk agreed to send over the original admission logs, scanned from microfilm, and there, in black and white, 2 babies. Same week, same hospital, same floor. Clarissa Morris and Lena Carson. Angela had given birth just 4 rooms away from my mother. The timeline overlapped, and that was when the impossible theory lodged itself in my head. What if Angela didn't just want to take over our lives? What if she had tried to erase her own daughter's identity and swap it with mine? The DNA results came in 4 days later. I didn't even sit down. My legs were shaking. I opened the results, and there it was. Daniel Carson, biological father 99.99%. But the second part made my breath catch. Biological mother Emily Carson's. Confirmed. No biological match found for Angela Morris, which meant I was Daniel's and Emily's daughter. But Claire, she wasn't related to either of us. And yet legally Claire had been allowed to use our last name, to inherit our legacy, to wear my clothes, sleep in my room, take my father. Because Angela had engineered everything from the start. I booked a meeting with Dad, called him from a private number. He answered out of breath like he wasn't expecting me. Lena, is everything all right? I need to see you, please. We met at a quiet diner outside town. He looked older, tired, uncomfortable in his own skin. For a moment, I felt sorry for him. Then I remembered how he let me walk out of my own house without a word. I laid the documents out one by one. The hospital record, the amended birth certificate, the DNA report, the school letter listing Claire as his biological daughter. He stared at them like they were in a foreign language, then whispered, "She told me it was a mistake." I didn't understand. Who? Angela. She said the school had mixed things up, that Clarissa was just listed under Carson because it was easier, that it was all paperwork confusion. And you believed her? He looked away, then nodded. I didn't want to fight, I just wanted peace after your mom died. Angela made things easy. She handled everything, the house, you, the bills. She didn't handle me, I snapped. She replaced me. His eyes finally met mine, wet, guilt-ridden. I see that now. I stood to leave. Number, you don't, but you will. I had a plan. And it started with the one thing Angela couldn't control anymore, the law. I went to my aunt, told her everything. She didn't gasp, didn't say, "Oh my God," she just nodded. Took you long enough, kid. With her help, I filed for a legal inquiry into identity fraud, submitted every record I had, then sent a copy, anonymously, to Claire's school, and another to Dad's attorney. Claire wasn't just a stepdaughter, she was someone else's daughter, wearing my name, my legacy. And soon the world would know. The storm didn't break right away. It started quietly. A call to the school board, then to the attorney handling Dad's estate, then whispers among family friends, co-workers, church circles. Then came the real blow, a formal letter to Angela and Claire from the family lawyer, demanding documentation of Claire's legal identity and questioning her claim to the Carson name and inheritance. Angela called me that night, screaming, "You manipulative little brat, you ruined everything after all I did for you." I let her rant, then calmly said, "You didn't do it for me. You did it to replace me. And you almost got away with it." Click. The fallout came fast. Claire's school rescinded her legacy admission, pending an investigation. The family lawyer put a hold on all estate assets tied to Claire's name. And my father? He finally spoke up. He filed a formal correction with the estate court, removing Claire as a listed heir, citing misrepresentation and identity fraud. It was the first real act of protection he'd made for me in years. But I didn't care about the money. I cared about truth, about making them look me in the eye and finally admit what they did. So I went back to the house, not to sneak in, not to beg, but to stand in the front doorway and ring the bell like I owned the place. "Because I did," Angela answered. Her hair was a mess, her eyes bloodshot. Claire was behind her, frozen halfway down the stairs. I stepped inside without asking. "You told the world I was nothing." "You were always dramatic, Lena," Angela muttered. I tossed the hospital records on the kitchen counter. "You forged a new life for your daughter. You rewrote my identity. And now you're going to lose everything because of it." Claire stepped forward. "I didn't know, Lena." I swear I turned to her. "Then why did you call him Dad before he even married your mom? Why did you throw out my baby photos, my gifts, my name?" She opened her mouth, closed it again. Tears welled, but I didn't feel sorry. Angela hissed, "You think this makes you better?" "This little revenge tour." I stared her down. "This isn't revenge, it's restoration. And from now on, every time someone asks what happened, I'll tell them, loudly." That week, I moved back into my room, my real room. The lilac paint came down. My sky blue walls returned. My photos, and the real ones, went back up. Claire and Angela, they moved out 2 weeks later, quietly, with no fight left. The estate was formally restored in my name, the inheritance, the family name. But most importantly, so the truth. I don't know where they are now. I don't care. What matters is this. They tried to make me invisible, to erase my place, my name, my story. But they forgot who I was. I wasn't the replacement. I was the original. And I came back stronger than ever.